In all my years of teaching, 20 years on the job, dealing with the same things, day in and day out, really washes out all the colors of the rainbow. A spark would flicker every now and then, but nothing that would result in any kind of flame. Some kids made it big. Others died in an overdose behind the trashy street somewhere with a needle up their arm. Despite what anybody tells you, there's just no way of knowing who'll make it. Yet still, every teacher, parent, and their goddamn mothers will tell you about their developed sixth sense or some kind of talent acumen. Just bloodhounds looking for dead bodies, in my opinion. From my side, teaching and explaining, it's always been very formulaic. I go in, explain what I gotta explain, and with a dull rhythmic march, I carry on the next day. For the kids, however, I always wondered how they saw it. This little Timmy over there had his mind blown the other day when I explained how to solve a simple equation. He never was the brightest bulb, but damn it, it feels good for his face to light up like a Christmas ornament when he finally got it. Flunked the test though. Pressure must have got on the best of him. Jessica though, I can't put my finger on it. She always wears this fearful face whenever she learns. It's almost as if her brain has filled up long ago and is just unwilling to accept any new information. One time she pulled my sleeve after class as I was clearing the board and asked me a peculiar question. "Mister, what kind of house do you live in?" I told her it was an average house. She seemed satisfied with the answer, but I had just this weird feeling about it. I looked into it. Her family looked nice. Mother was a waitress and had worked at some accounting job. I kept my eye on her though. Ever since that day, she wasn't doing well in school, but it wasn't any different to before. She just seemed like a regular girl, a little slow and in the need of a friend or two, but outside of that, I didn't detect anything out of the ordinary. Never met her parents either, but can't say that that's not common around these parts. I only saw what was right in front of my face. I admit, it was my first time a bro character. Some ungodly premonition came over me. Maybe it was a bad night of sleep or a particularly inspiring sermon at Sunday Mass, but somehow I had convinced myself that it was my duty to follow this girl home and see what she gets up to when she's out of school. I swear on my mother that I didn't intend to go further than a couple of blocks. May she rest in peace. I waited till Tuesday and decided I was going to stop at the grocery store near her home. As a teacher, I had access to where the students lived, information that I was deliberately taken advantage of under the delusion of what felt like my holy quest. What a fool I was, feeling certain that I was going to uncover some ungodly truth about the fabric of reality. So I followed her. 1 step, 2 steps, cross-curve to the left and another to the right. She didn't live very far, just about 10 minutes of walking. As I saw her home unblurring on the horizon, I had convinced myself that I had seen enough. I was just being a creepy old man after all. At that moment, though, I saw a car drive up to her and pick her up. She went willingly, almost as if it was a daily ritual. How could I forget to mention the most bizarre part of it all? She was sitting in the trunk. The car drove up just to the block until the house, but I did not see the trunk open. The adult figure driving the car left and went inside the house. However, my chilly spine was telling me the little girl was still trapped in the back, unable to escape. I stopped at a nearby cafe and ordered some coffee. Hours went by as I sipped on my 5th caffeinated shot. I couldn't tell if I was more jittery from the stimulant surging through my bloodstream or the bizarre nature of what I was witnessing. Was this girl about to suffocate? Oh Lord, the exhaustion must have clouded my judgment as I stepped out of the car and knocked on it. I should have just called the police or some other kind of authority, yet I couldn't help myself. No response. I knocked twice. No response again. I tried knocking one more time and her father suddenly appeared at the door. What are you doing?" Thinking he was somehow responsible for my perception of this little girl's suffering, I said, "Sorry, I was just passing by and saw your car parked. Thought of buying it for myself and wondered if the trunk is large enough, so I just knocked on it to see if there was an echo." Unperturbed and a little confused with what I had just said, he replied, "Please don't touch my car and leave my property." Yeah, of course," I muttered, slowly turning around with my eyes still intently fixated on the trunk. As I made my 2nd step, I heard a growl. Suddenly, the trunk sprang open, and Jessica jumped out, rubbing her eyes and mumbling, "Is it time to go to school yet?" Her dad, running to embrace her, said, No, sweetie, sorry for waking you up." The strangeness of the situation caught me off guard, and so many thoughts rolled through my head. What is going on? The girl looks at me and then at her dad. "That's my teacher." Her dad stands up, extends his hand, and apologizes for scaring me. I return the courtesy, and somehow I don't feel the sense to pry further. His face was loving, and the daughter seemed genuinely happy to see him. I know, completely mental. How could I believe that this girl was truly okay after I had just witnessed her exit the car where she had been trapped for the past several hours? And yet I did. I walked home, slowly pondering each step. It started raining, and I hadn't brought an umbrella with me. After I got back to my car, I sat there for what felt like another eternity. The next day, Jessica didn't come to school. I gave her parents a call, but nobody picked up. I even checked her home after class, and their car wasn't parked outside. I rang the bell, but nobody opened the door. I didn't want to jump to any conclusions, but it sure felt like they skipped town after last night's encounter. But no, nothing of the sort. Jessica was back to school the next day, same as ever, blankly staring at the board while an entirely different story was playing in her head. 20 years passed, and I am sitting in that same cafe I was sitting when I was creeping out at family. A lady sits next to me and orders some coffee. Before I have a chance to ask, she says, "Hi, Professor. I'm Jessica." I ask her how she's been. Fully grown woman, who would have thought? She says she has a family now and is raising her little young ones. Who would have believed it 20 years ago? As the night went on, we talked some more. About life, about kids, about school. We said goodbye and went our separate ways. Often I ask myself what it all meant that day. I have no answers, but before me I witnessed a fine young lady making it out just fine in the world. It truly made me wonder if that's all there is to it.